What's up, guys? I am back with another video. First things first, I really want to apologize for the fact that I have been like MIA the past few days. I know I told y'all I was going to post at least 3 times a week, and I've only posted like once last week. And I just wanted to apologize for that. It wasn't intentional. I've just been busy, kind of been dealing with family issues, personal stuff, all that. But I'm getting back to where I am able to post more often, which is good. It's just a process. You have to make the video, edit the video, then post the video. And it's very time consuming, and sometimes I just don't have time, guys. But I am going to do better. Because I know a lot of you have been asking why I haven't been posting, or have I forgot about my channel? No, I haven't. I have not. But those of you who have me on Facebook, first, hold on, cut that. Okay, I need everyone to subscribe. I need everyone to like this video. I need everyone to tell their mama, their daddy, their grandma, and their grandpa to subscribe to my channel. But this video, guys, before I even start this video is the most important one that will be posted on my channel. Okay, this video right here is the most important. I need you guys to take this serious. I need you guys to share it. I need you guys to tell your friends about it. I need your guys' friends to tell their friends about it. Like, whatever. I need it to be heard. Okay, so if you have me on Facebook, then you know that this video is going to be me telling the story behind my nephew. And for those of you who don't know, my nephew passed away a few years ago. So I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to tell you guys the story, because I know, for those of you who don't know, I did a hot car challenge, or the hot car challenge, and that's where I sat in a car with all windows rolled up. The car was off. I had a thermometer in there. I was recording it live on my phone while I was doing it. And I will explain all of that in a minute, why I did it. But, yeah, so I'm going to explain the story behind my nephew, how he passed, what happened. I'm going to answer all of the questions that everyone's ever asked me in this video. Okay? I'm trying to think of how to start it, because that day there was so much going on. First and foremost, his name was Cameron James Shaw. It's my brother's son, his first child. Cameron was his heart and soul. Honestly, he was our entire family's heart and soul. He was my parents' first grandkid. Now they have tons. He was my nephew. He was 3, guys. He was 3. I forgot to mention that, if I didn't mention that. My nephew was literally the happiest, sweetest, most energetic 3-year-old I had ever known. Like, he was the best. And I'm not just saying that, like, my nephew was the best. He was well behaved. He had manners. He was funny. Like, it's crazy, because you see a lot of kids with so much personality nowadays, but his was literally like an adult's. Like, he was hilarious. The stuff that would come out of his mouth was like Comedy Central material. Seriously, like, he was hilarious. Okay, so it started, sorry, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, guys. It's like, I've talked about it so much, and I've always seemed so okay with talking about it, and sometimes I will be. Sometimes I can talk about it and I will feel fine. And there are other times, like now, where I'll get choked up or I have a hard time explaining what I'm trying to say or what happened, just because it's very emotional. It's That was probably the most tragic thing that my family had to experience, and that my brother especially had to experience. But first, let me explain. My brother had nothing to do with it, which everyone who knows the story already knows that. I'm explaining this for the people who don't know, or like the new viewers that are tuning in and have never heard his story, because I do post about it a lot. I have told the story a lot, but this is for the people who don't know, who are completely new to this. My brother had nothing to do with his son's death. It was 110% on his ex-wife. Okay, they were split up at the time. They had, I'm sorry I sound so stuffy, guys. My allergies have been going crazy. But anyway, they had an agreement, kind of like a custody agreement or whatever, to where she would get him at a certain time, he would get him at a certain time, so on and so forth. And when it happened on her time, which was not surprising to any of us. We never thought, or we didn't expect her to be that careless, but she was, and there's nothing we can do to change it. It happened, but anyway, I remember it was me, my brother, my other brother, and then a family friend. And we were all sitting in our friend's car. And I remember his ex-wife calling him. I'm not going to say her name because I'm not giving her that kind of power. I don't even like to say her name. I don't even say her name when I speak of her. I call her baby killer. I'm sorry, but that's what I call her. That's what we refer to her as. Which may be hateful, but I don't care. Anyway, so we were all sitting in the car, and I remember her calling. And you know how it is, like with vehicles nowadays, you can hook your phone, or you can Bluetooth your phone through the radio, and you can answer calls on it, whatever. So she started calling him early, and I remember my brother making the comment like, oh, this is weird, she never calls early for me to get him or whatever. Okay, so our family friend was just like, well, just answer it, and it was hooked through the radio so we could all hear it. And so he answers it, and all we hear is her screaming, crying, saying, Cameron won't wake up, Cameron won't wake up. And I will never forget, like, the complete shock I saw on my brother's face and I heard in his voice. Because he couldn't do anything. Like, all he could say was, go, 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 go. Like, that was all he was saying. I was in the back seat, my other brother was in the back seat, and then the family friends was driving, and my brother was in the passenger seat. And all I remember is she lived a good 10 minutes away. And when I'm telling you we got there within like 2, we got there fast. We hauled tail. And by the time that we got there, the ambulance was already there. They had already put Cameron into the ambulance. And my brother got out of the car, hopped in the ambulance, and then we followed the ambulance to the hospital. She left him in a car. Okay, Cameron was left in a car. We still to this day don't know for exactly how long. We kind of have a guesstimate, but we don't know, like, factually how long he was left in there. But that is what resulted in his death. Like, he died from heat. Matter of fact, September 5th marks the anniversary of the day that he died. And it's a hard time for, me and my family, but we always manage to cope. We are so supportive of each other to the point where, like, you don't have a chance to even begin to feel alone. Like, we are very supportive, especially when it comes to that, and especially when it comes to my brother, because he did lose his son. And that, I have kids. I have 2 beautiful children, and I could not imagine, like, losing them or anything happening to them. I can't imagine what he went through. I saw what he went through, but I can't imagine exactly how he was feeling, but I saw him dying. Like, I saw him dying more and more each day without his son. I did. I saw him physically and emotionally dying. Sorry guys. But anyway, so we got to the hospital, and I remember, the police were already there. We all had to write statements because we heard the conversation. And of course, his ex-wife told 3 different stories to 3 different police officers because she knew what she did, but she didn't want to be charged or arrested. And to clear it up, no, it was not an accident. Point blank period. It was not an accident. My nephew's life was taken due to neglect, stupidity, ignorance, you name it. That's what happened. Anyway, so we wrote our statements, and at this point in time, we don't know what's going on. We just know he was put in an ambulance, rushed to a hospital. Okay? So we get to the hospital, and we write our statements. I remember calling my best friend. Well, I actually had to call her mom at work because I could not get a hold of her. But, that was like her nephew too. Like, we were all, matter of fact, I called her, and then I finally got in touch with my best friend of 22 years, who I've talked about in my previous videos. I actually had to have somebody go over to her house and wake her up because she wasn't answering the phone. And she came up there. Like I said, I called my other best friend's mom at work. She left work. She went and picked up my best friend. They came there. And I remember I walked outside to meet my best friend. And we were standing outside, and I was explaining to them what was going on. And we were out there for maybe 10 minutes. We weren't out there long. We were out there for maybe 10 minutes, and I looked at my best friend, and I was like, alright, I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to check on my brother. And she's like, okay, well, come on. And y'all, I will never, ever forget this. This is forever permanently burned into my brain, because this was like the hardest thing I've ever had to watch and the worst pain I've ever experienced. We walked up towards the doors, and all I seen was like 3 officers holding my brother up. And I knew, like, in my heart and in my gut, I knew what my brother was about to tell me. But I was really hoping that was not the case, because that was my 3-year-old nephew. I mean, it's hard enough when it's like an adult, an adult loved one that passes away, but my 3-year-old nephew who didn't even get a chance to experience life to experience anything. But I remember, sorry guys, I remember walking up to the door and I saw the cops holding my brother up, and I just kind of, like, I literally just stopped. And I had my best friend Hannah on one side and my best friend Mindy on the other, and I just stopped, and they stopped. And he looked at me, and he was crying so bad, like he was holding, like a cop was holding him up because he was literally like falling to his knees, and his face was, y'all, it was the most sad thing I've ever seen in my life. But he just looked at me and he said he didn't make it. And I just dropped to my knees. Both of, my best friends tried to grab me and pick me up. I actually had an anxiety attack. Like, I couldn't breathe. They had to put me, they had to put me in a separate hospital room and give me a breathing mask. Like, I couldn't breathe. Like, guys, I can't even explain the pain I felt. Like, I literally felt pain in my chest, like I was about to have a heart attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. I could not breathe. It literally felt like a freaking train was sitting on top of my chest. I could not breathe. My freaking heart was like about to explode. I really thought I was having a heart attack. I'm not even joking. But it was just an anxiety attack. I remember all my family, oh gosh, all my family pulling up. Everybody was so angry and so mad because of how it happened, because of what happened. This is what I need you guys to understand. Things like that can be prevented. She did not have to leave him in a car. He did not have to die that day. But she did, and he did, and there's nothing we can do about it because he's gone. But if there's anything I can do to help the next child, or to raise awareness, or to just get this story heard, I'm gonna do it, because it was too late to save my nephew. We had no chance to save him. We didn't. But if this will just remind people to think before you do something, then if that's all I can do, then that's all I can do. But I'm gonna do it, because I am proof that it can happen to anybody. My family, it happened to us, and I know everyone likes to think that they are untouchable. Everyone likes to think that nothing like that can happen to them. Trust me, we didn't think that it would happen to us, but it did. And that is the worst pain we have experienced as a family. That's the worst pain my brother experienced as a parent. Guys, it is not a game, and it happens. You hear on the news all the time about somebody leaving their child in the car, somebody forgetting that their child was in the car, and them going to work for 8 hours only to find out that their child was dead when they got out of work because they forgot. How do you forget that? I'm sorry. You can say whatever. You can say you had 50 million things going on, your mind wasn't in the right place, you just weren't thinking clearly. I am a parent, and I have never once forgot my children in the car. I have 2 toddlers. My mind is always going 90-0. I have been through so much. I deal with so much. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders so often, it's not even funny. But not one time have I ever even had to second guess if my child was in a car, if they were. And then for news channels, and I get they're just trying to help, they're just trying to find a solution, but for a news channel to say to throw something valuable like your phone or your wallet in the back seat so you'll remember a living human being who is your child? That is ridiculous. You mean to tell me a cellular device, money, things that can easily be replaced are more valuable than a child? Your child at that. I don't know what a solution for this is. All I have is my voice, and I will speak on this until the day I die because he did not get justice. His killer is roaming free and happy with life. He did not get his justice. And to be honest, I realize that he probably won't ever get it. But I know the ultimate justice will be when she has to face God. And over time, I have grown okay with that. Because I know there is nothing down here on earth that men can do that's going to make a difference to her that God cannot top. Because that is the person she's going to have to answer to. She can run from it down here. She can get away with it down here. But God, she doesn't stand a chance. All I can say is, I don't even know, guys. I just know this could have been prevented. I need y'all to understand that. I need you guys to understand that. This could have been prevented. And things like this still can be prevented, but somebody's got to speak on it. Ain't nobody speaking on it. Not enough. You hear about it on the news 1 second, and then 5 seconds later it's over and done with. It's not being spoke on anymore. And I'm here to tell you, like, it needs to be spoke on. I did a hot car challenge. I sat in my car with all windows rolled up. The car was off for 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes. And I could have sat longer. But in those 10 minutes, anyone who watched my live knows that I was dripping in sweat. It got so hot to the point where my phone shut off. I took a picture of the screen on my phone and everything. It said, cannot use iPhone. Basically saying that my iPhone was overheating after just 10 minutes of being in that car. I was pouring in sweat and my iPhone overheated. I couldn't even finish my live video. I had to go back after I got out of the car. I put my phone next to a fan and held it there for, I know, at least 10 minutes before it even came back on. That's how hot that car got in 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. I think I had a thermometer in there, and I think it was reading, I know it was close to 200 degrees inside my car in 10 minutes. I did that for my nephew, to raise awareness, because this is important to me. Like I said, it's too late to save him. He's gone. And I hate that. But if I can do something to save the next child, I'm going to do it. Even if it's just using my voice, I'm going to do it. Because that's something that can be prevented. No child deserves that. I don't even want to know what was going through my nephew's head while he's sitting there, dying. And if you don't want to take it serious, think about that. Think about a 3-year-old child. And they're even younger than that sometimes. Think about a child, an innocent child, sitting in a car, not understanding or knowing what's going on. Sorry, guys. Just crying for help and no one's there to help them. I need you guys to think about that. This is something serious, y'all. This is something that, it's not a game, and it keeps happening over and over again, and nobody's trying to come up with a solution. Nobody cares enough. These innocent lives of these young children who don't even have a chance to start a life. It's being taken because of stupidity, because people forgot. You didn't forget, you just didn't care. But anyways, guys, that's the story. I need you guys to share this video. I need you guys to let this video reach as many people as possible. I thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, tell everybody to subscribe. I don't care, but I just want this message to be heard. That's all I want. If I don't do nothing else, I just want this message to be heard. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I answered all of the questions that you guys had when it came to my nephew and his story. I did my best. I kind of was losing my train of thought because I was getting emotional, but you guys get the point. It's important. It needs to be spoke on. It needs to be stopped. Thanks.